Hello guys, how are you? My class will talk a little about Australian and we will cover some topics about this country.
Hi, my name is Alana. Today I will talk about Australia.
Australia is a country located in Oceania, between the Pacific and Indian Oceans, with about 23 million inhabitants. It's known as the mainland island due to its location and formation. The country is a federal constitutional monarchy under a parliamentary democracy that was formed as a result of an agreement between six British colonies that became six states. The terms of the agreement are enshrined in the Australian Constitution. The religion with the largest number of the adherents is Christianity, about 77% of the population, and the official language is English.
Australia is a huge country. Its vegetation is very varied, containing about 22,000 plant species and about 56 endangered plants. The territory has varied climates. However, the dry climate and the heat predominate. Australia's flora responds to the extreme environmental conditions in the country, such as fire caused by long periods of drought, poor nutrient soils, volcanism, or glacial activity. Among the vegetation, we can mention the vast number of trees in the tropical zone, the bushes and creeping plants in the desert, pine and broadleaf trees in the Australian Alps and the Tasmanian mountains. In the south of the country, eucalyptus trees are very present, containing about 500 species. Finally, I will mention some species native to Australia. We have the bullcutty, a coniferous plant, Banksia of Dalachi, a bush only found in the country, Passiflora aurantium, a passion flower, and Hillgrove gun, a rare tree species.
Australia's fauna comprises a huge variety of unique animals: 83% of mammals, 89% of reptiles, 90% of fish and insects, 93% of amphibians. Why are animals in Australia different? The main reason is geography of the place and the apparent isolation, which allowed the species of the place to evolve on their own, without much interaction with animals from other neighbor places, as happened in the rest of the world.
Of prehistoric origin, they organized themselves into a group and living away for a hilt of daytime. Pythons, hours of communicating, and believes that trucking to a culture natural and its high times are in the portfolio of choosy people. To understand more about Aboriginal culture, the Australian Museum in the Reach of Sydney reports how the story they experienced of applicant Alki White, an Aboriginal witch in the rocks in the center of the large Australian city. Australian music is greatly influenced by Aborigines and representatives of current music such as AC/DC, Gotronic traditional Australian music, heavily influenced by folk music, also classical music, which has produced some world-renowned names.
Australia's typical cuisine is a blend of the indigenous Australian traditions with the habits of British colonists plus the influence of immigrants from China, India, Malaysia, Japan, France, Italy, and Greece. One of the foods widely consumed in the country is fish meat, used in typical local dishes such as fish and chips and grilled tuna fish. Barbecue is also quite common among Australians. It is very typical for Australians to get together on weekends or after work to generally taste lamb sausages, fish, or shrimp roasted on a grill. Bush food is something very characteristic of Australia. It is meats and wild fruits known for the Aboriginal culture that have become very popular in recent years. Exotic meats such as kangaroo, emu, crocodile, and guru are found on sale. In addition to these dishes, there are many others common throughout the country, such as meat pies and barbecue sauce. In addition, it is worth mentioning that Australia has been standing out more and more in wine production. There are about 160,000 hectares of vineyards. Every year, tourists to Australian wine roads. Several Australian beers are also among the best in the world.
Australians are very competitive and therefore very attached to any type of sport. From a young age, whatever sport is chosen, they have the support and of their parents and can count on an impeccable infrastructure for the practice and training of all modalities you can imagine. This country's investment in sport is reflected in the results of the last Olympic Games. Australia has placed itself among the top 5 countries in number of medals. Swimming is one of Australia's specialties. Among the most practiced sports there we can mention surf, cricket, football, rugby, golf and swimming. The sport usually brings together thousands of fans in the crowd, so it is worth mentioning that during the coronavirus pandemic, sport was greatly affected in this regard, and sport was stopped for a long time, and when they returned to the activity, they could not count on the presence of the fans, causing a great impact on the athletes.
In Australia, there are some very beautiful sites to visit, such as the city of Sydney receives numerous tourists who are enchanted by famous monuments, such as the Sydney Opera House and the Rainbow Bridge, and the infrastructure and quality of life of the place. There is also the Great Barrier Reef, which is considered one of the most spectacular landscapes in the world, as it features a marine park with an infinity of species of fish and corals. Fraser Island is known as the largest sand island in the world. Its main point is Lake Mackenzie, with calm, crystal clear water and soft white sand form a beautiful landscape. Fraser Island is known as the largest sand island in the world. Its main point is Lake Mackenzie, with calm, crystal clear water and soft white sand form a beautiful landscape.